Avatar was always an important show to me, so I decided to make a top 10 list about my top 10 favorite Avatar episodes. I hope you enjoy! Number 10. The Boy in the Iceberg. This episode is a very good pilot episode. It introduces all the characters in one episode and it's normal. I'll explain. First of all, Sokka and Katara are very good introduced. They're like on the ship and they're complaining. Then we got introduced by Aang, which was in an iceberg. And then we got Zuko and Iroh looking at them. It was a very good first episode. Good humor and a very good beginning of the plot. I like this episode just because this episode is a pilot episode, and pilot episodes are supposed to bring fans in the series. And for a pilot episode, this is a very good pilot episode. Number 9. The Cave of the Two Lovers. I love this episode. Really, I just love it. Well, these three are idiots in my brain, but they are so funny. I love these guys. Well, the plot is those idiots and our gang has to continue the journey through a cave. So they go in a cave, and the cave has a little backstory about a couple making a maze so they can keep their relationship secret. At the end, they got separated. Sokka is with the idiots and Aang and Katara are separate. Aang and Katara get out using the code, kissing and being in love, while Sokka and the gang just found mole creatures and then they escape. We also got some backstory for Zuko doubting the Fire Nation, and this episode has so much humor. Really, you wanna laugh? Watch this episode. Number 8. The Headband. After our gang arrived on the Fire Nation, they had to disguise themselves so they won't get caught. So they stole clothes from a citizen on an island. Aang stole a school uniform, so he got caught and went back to school. And he met some friends over there, and actually he enjoyed being to school. If it wasn't for the war and stuff, he might have just stayed. He made some friends, he danced with them, made some fun, and he learned that the Fire Nation is not that bad after all. This episode is just a filler, but I love this filler. Really, it's very, very good. Number 7. The Chase. This is the plot of the episode. The gang just want to go to sleep, and Princess Azula and her friends don't let them sleep. That's basically the plot. Well, so they want to go to sleep, and every time they fall asleep, they got caught, so they have to fly away. They keep doing that until they're too tired to fight. That's the plan. At the end, they just give up and just fight back. It's a basic episode. Nothing special happens. But why do I like this episode so much? Well, first of all, Toph ran away after a fight. That's something unique. She bumped into Iroh and talked to him. Remember, Toph still don't know who Iroh is. Later, we got an amazing fight between the princess and the prince of the Fire Nation. Aang fought Azula for the very first time, and he realized that Azula is completely different than Zuko. This episode has also some humor and a good story. I just love it because I just love it. I can't explain it. Number 6. The Day of the Black Sun, Part 1 and Part 2. It's time. Time for the Black Sun. After half a season wandering around in a Fire Nation, finally it's time to defeat the Fire Nation. on the day that they lose their power. So they plan an invasion. And in the first half it went really well. Black Sun came and they lost power and stuff. But in the second episode they lost because the Fire Lord knew about this because Azula told him that. Zuko also turned his back against the Fire Nation and tried to be friends with the Avatar by following him. Well, this episode is very high on my list, simple because they built up this battle for so long, and then the battle happened and they just failed so badly. The 90% was caught and arrested, and the other 10% escaped just in time. This is a very good episode, a 2-part episode. I love this episode. I highly recommend it. 10 out of 10. Number 5. The Library. This episode goes like this. The gang enters a desert, so they go and drink something. Then they meet a professor, and the professor tells them about a library that knows weakness about the Fire Nation. So they travel with him to find the library. Inside the library, they find weaknesses about the Fire Nation. Eclipse Black Sun attack that will happen in the summer. So they keep the secrets and want to go upstairs. Upstairs, the library keeper, an owl, find out about this and want to kill them. So he sunk the entire library downstairs. On the top, Toph and Appa are on the lookout. Then some sand people come around and steal Appa. Toph had to choose. Save Appa or save the gang. She chooses for the gang. And that's how it ends the episode. I really love this episode because the owl is amazing, the library is cool, and we learn about the Black Sun. And I'm also sad that they took Appa away. It's a very good episode. Number 4. Bato of the Water Tribe. Bato from the Water Tribe. This episode is one of the highest favorite episodes from season 1. I like this episode because we find out about Bato, a Water Tribe member that knows the father of Sokka and Katara. The reason I put this episode so high is because Bato has some special messages for the gang, the location of the father. But Aang got the messages, so normally he should have given the messages to the other two, but he didn't. He kept it. He stole the chance for them to meet their parents. I love this episode because we saw a dark side of Aang we never saw before. At the end, they found out and they left. Aang was alone. But at the end, they changed their mind and they all apologized about everything. I love this episode. It's like a dark twist from the already 15-ish episodes that were released. I highly recommend this episode. It's my favorite Book 1 episode of all time. Number 3. Nightmares and Daydreams. Ah yes, we finally meet this episode. Well, the plot is simple. They arrived at the final destination for the Black Sun attack. But it only takes 4 more days. So technically they can have a little 4-day vacation before the attack. But Aang suddenly got stressed. He's scared. So he keeps having nightmares and daydreams, what the title says. This episode goes from a normal episode to a weird episode to a funny episode to just a mind-blowing, laughing out loud episode. This is the biggest joy you can have. This is just pure gold comedy. Really, this is the best, funniest episode ever. That's why it's a number 3, just because the comedy. If it was not a comedy episode, just a boring episode, would not be that high. Pure for the comedy. Just pure for that. Number 2, the Southern Raiders. The Southern Raider episode is a very good conclusion for the arc of Katara. In the beginning of the series, Katara was the only active waterbender from the Southern Water Tribe. It had a reason for that. Katara was a secret because she's a waterbender and the Fire Nation doesn't want waterbenders anymore. But once they figured out that there was a waterbender on the Southern Water Tribe, the Southern Fire Nation, they went on a kill spree, if I'm gonna say it like that. They arrived and searched for the last waterbender, and her mother said that she was the last waterbender, so they took her life. But eventually, actually it was Katara who was the waterbender, and the mother was not. This episode is searching that man that killed her mother. At the end, she and Zuko found that man, and she learned to forgive. This is a very important episode because we learn that she forgave her murderer of the mother. And it's a lesson you can use in real life, and I love it. Number 1, Sozin's Comet, Part 1, Part 2, Part 3 and Part 4. This 4-part finale is the best finale you can ask for any show. It's basically the end of the show. There's a comet going, you know that from all the way in the beginning of season 1, and it's now or never. They lost the Black Sun attack, so it's this or never. Aang has to kill the Fire Lord at this day. This entire episode is about Aang walking away and trying to figure out if he should kill or not. Aang never kills someone. It's not in an air nomad's way. It's against their people. And Zuko finds Iroh and gets respect and forgiveness. It's like a 3-part finale now. Katara and Zuko are going to defeat Azula once and for all. Sokka and Toph are going to defeat the fleet once and for all. And Aang has to defeat the Fire Lord. It's a 4-part battle of 3 different scenarios. 4 if you count the elders, but that's not really important. At the end, Azula lost, got captured, and Ozai lost, but Aang did not kill Ozai. He took away his firebending and then captured him. Ba Sing Se, where the elders were, is reborn back to the Earth Kingdom, and the fleet got destroyed, leaving a happy end. Zuko became the Fire Lord, and the Fire Nation's name was fixed, if I have to say so. Aang is now the good Avatar because he defeated the Fire Lord and he can do his Avatar duties again. And there is peace and justice back in the Avatar universe. It's a good finale. Really, I cannot think of a better way to end this series. This is a good finale, and if I could, I will give this a 20 out of 10. There you go, 20 out of 10. This is why it's on number 1. And this was my list of the top 10 Avatar episodes. I hope you enjoyed. And as always, see you next time.